Sawadika, welcome back to the channel, hope you're doing well. Today we are visiting Doi Inthanon National Park here in northern Thailand. It is about a 2-hour minivan drive from Chiang Mai, so not too bad. And basically we're doing a tour here today. So there's plenty of things on the agenda. We're at a waterfall here now, Waterfall waterfall. We're going to be doing a 2-hour trek. We're going to be visiting the highest point here in Thailand. So there's plenty in store for the tour today. So that was pretty amazing, I have to say. Probably the strongest waterfall I've seen in Thailand, Laos, Vietnam or Cambodia. So very impressive. But one thing I don't like, we only get 30 minutes here to explore, walk around on the tour. Probably could do it a little bit longer. Feels a little bit rushed. What can you do? So the cost of the tour is 1,200 baht per person, so it works out at about €31 each. It's a good deal, I think. Heard good reviews and we're really looking forward to going exploring further today. So interestingly enough, the tour guide who was with us today, she was telling us that Doi basically means mountain and Inthanon is the last king of Chiang Mai, who was the king about 200 years ago. His son and the daughter of the king of Bangkok married, and then Chiang Mai and Bangkok became the one kingdom of Siam. So it is a wet start today, unfortunately. Hopefully it doesn't slow us down too much, but we have all our waterproof tops on here that you're able to buy as well here once you stop at the bottom of the trail, so it's handy. So it's very cool, in fairness. The tour guides are just bringing us around to different trees that actually grow here, explaining what they do. The last one there, you can actually cut it up and drink the water from it, so that's what the people would have done here. Very cool. Also, it's called Blebla. What a name. One of our tour guides is from the Karen tribe, which is where we are. They're located here, and Blebla is basically part of the lingo that they use, so it's nice to kind of be told one of the local words and what it means and see it in their daily lives.
Put it inside the water. You can fishing. It's easy to fishing.
This forest is actually home to the white-handed gibbons as well. They're an endangered species, so I don't know realistically if we'll have a chance to see some of them today, but fingers crossed. It'd be nice to see some of the natural wildlife if we can while we're here. Having fun, Lupe?
Yes.
We're just after kind of stumbling upon some farm. I don't know if you can see it out there through the trees, that they're growing plenty of vegetables and herbs and different things, probably rice as well. This part of the region, there's a lot of rice being grown. Really cool to see it. Wow, and that is some of the thickest bamboo I've ever seen. Have a look at that. Mad. They really do use it for everything out here, even the walking sticks. Our tour guide now is talking about opium being grown and something to do with the Chinese. To be honest, I can't really understand her fully, but she mentioned the opium wars that were in the region as well. The flower that we just saw there being, I think, brought down from the Chinese, so a little bit confusing, I have to say. The English not the best, but look, no problem. It's still interesting to come in here and see what's going on and just experience this forest. And again, there's plenty of signs up about no swimming, and I get that they want to keep people safe, but to me it seems a little bit obvious. There's like a cliff edge there, and if you go out there that'd be the end, yeah, but I suppose not everyone can see it. It's just kind of funny. So another little waterfall here. It's quite cool. Definitely not as big and as grand as the last one. Powerful as well. A lot of powerful waterfalls here. We're just after seeing an amazingly luminous green snake here. It looks very dangerous, so we will try to keep our distance. That is the coolest snake I think I've seen. Look at that colour, and look at that little bit of red in the tail. A little bit of bite, a little bit of poison. That snake looks like he's sleeping. Okay, going to leave that little green guy alone for a while. If we're there too long, who knows, maybe he reacts in a bad way and he ends up angry. You know, I never knew how comforting it was to know there's so many poisonous snakes around you. It really puts you at ease. So yeah, really enjoying this trek so far. Seeing snakes, hopefully, like I said before, we'll get to catch a few monkeys, and the rain has died off, so always a plus. And it's tough going, tough in the legs, but really cool. So I don't know if you can see it there, but we're after stumbling across another one of these green snakes. This one is much bigger. The camera quality doesn't do it justice, but wow, its belly is huge. This is just turning into an amazing morning. We're seeing so many snakes. They're absolutely beautiful. While they may be so deadly, the colour, they're just illuminating in front of us. That green is absolutely spectacular. It makes you really think, where else can they be? Are they right above us now? Are they down below? And I also don't know how these people can spot them so easily. It's even difficult for me to see that snake from here, but it just shows you the bit of camouflage and the bit of experience in navigating through these forests. It makes it a little bit easier to spot them. That's unreal. So I'm going to have to look up what snake that was exactly, but if you do know, let me know in the comments. So one disadvantage as well, coming with a group here, you have to kind of follow and you can't really have that independence and do whatever you want for as long as you want. I'd love to be taking pictures here. It's absolutely perfect with the river, the trees, the animals as well. It's one of the realities of coming in a group tour, but have a look. Another really long, really luminous green snake hanging from the tree here. I'm going to try and get a little bit closer. You can see, is that his head hanging down? Wow, this is a much thinner one, but it's much longer. Look at that tail, wow. All the way wrapped to the end of this tree here. That is surreal. It looked like a very uncomfortable position the snake was in, but it looked calm. It almost looked like it was sleeping. It's just so nice to be able to come here and experience being beside such an interesting, beautiful animal. Hold on tight. Yep, so one big huge banana tree right here. That is a big one. It's so amazing here. I really have to say, I feel like we're getting the full kind of jungle experience. Going up and down these trails and tracks, you see a green snake, you see a family of snakes, you see a monkey, you see these amazingly beautiful waterfalls. It's just stunning landscape. It's also a fun little challenge as well to kind of keep your eyes peeled and see if you can spot any of these snakes or other creatures that are in this forest, because number one, it's fun, and number two, for safety. One thing that I would say about the tour is a little bit difficult to understand the tour guide. I completely get it that they're Thai and English, they may not need it as much here, and that's not really a problem for me. It's just overall, I do have to say that it would be nicer to kind of understand more of the backstory about the place that you're going. But you know, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal for me. It's just one consideration that I wanted to let you guys know about. And in fairness, the guides are absolutely so much fun, and they're good characters, and they're smiling and joking all the time as well. So it's nothing personal. It's just one observation. Wow. So that's pretty much the image I wanted to capture when I think about Laos or Thailand, northern Thailand, the paddy fields here. I've wanted for so long to get a picture. Yes! So it looks like she's going to try and harvest one of these fruits hanging on the tree here. Turns out it's jackfruit. We've seen these commonly throughout the region as well, and I think I've tried them and I like them, so we could be lucky and get a free lunch here. Actually, so now it's starting to make a bit more sense, because as you can see here beside me, the pipe, we noticed this pipe running from the waterfall along the trail as we came here. So basically it looks like they're taking some of the water from the waterfall to irrigate all the paddy fields here. So all this here in front of us is sticky rice, so a very common type of rice eaten here in Asia, and especially Thailand. We had some yesterday in our cooking class and it was spectacular. Another thing that they're not short of in Thailand are these amazing views. Unreal. Yeah, they just close when you touch them. Wow.
And then they open again. It's stressful for them.
Plenty more of these paddy fields here, either side really, when you're coming down through this valley almost, you could call it. It really is amazing. A beautiful sight. It's quite interesting to look at it. We obviously saw the waterfall there, and it's structured into like 10 layers, each layer going lower and lower and lower, then onto the next one. And the paddy fields are kind of structured like that as well, with the irrigation system the way it's set up here. It's quite cool to see. You can see the pipe coming out at each level to give water to the level below. So yeah, I don't know if that's purpose or if there's any reason behind that. Maybe they got inspiration from the way the waterfall is layered. So this is absolutely great. The rain has pretty much stopped. I was able to lose the waterproof jacket and get hot in that, and it's hot enough anyway, so happy days. So along here again, it looks like a bit of an irrigation system that they have in place for the rice. After losing the rest of our group who came with us in the tour, we were back exploring the plants that were growing there, and now we can't seem to find anybody, so we're going to have to keep going, and fingers crossed that they show up at the end of this trail. No one so far. And now we're after coming to a fork in the road. Is the group to the right? Is the group to the left? Could we end up dead in the rainforest? Could we survive and tell a tale? So one of the other tour guides is after actually showing up behind us, so happy days. We're not going to be lost. We're going to survive. We'll find the rest of the group shortly, I'm sure. The trek was basically meant to last about 2 hours. I think it's coming up to around that time. Lupe feels like maybe we're coming to the end. That was well worth it. That was nice, I have to say. Seeing all the wildlife and the paddy fields, how they're irrigated. Never saw it before, so learning something new every day here in Thailand. It's cool, you can just see like a big herd of oxes just roaming through the paddy fields as well. It really feels like we're out in the middle of the jungle in northern Thailand on these farms where they're producing the rice. It's breathtaking, really. That is some big bamboo right there. And another thing I wanted to tell you guys about as well, I have a website, it's faheyjamestravel.com. You can go over there and subscribe to my free newsletter. I'll be sending an update on our travels, our blog posts about what we've learned, some free guides about how to best navigate through Southeast Asia. So hopefully you'll find use in them. You can also find me over on Instagram as well, where I post a lot of my photography and reels from our travels as well. So on the same name, faheyjamestravel. It's pretty crazy to think that our travels in Southeast Asia are nearly coming to an end. We've had the most amazing 3 months and a little bit with it. We've seen Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and it's been probably some of the best traveling memories I've ever had in my life. People, number one, are the most friendly and welcoming in the world. We've never had an issue with anybody. Seriously, it's been unbelievable. The food, where do I start with the food? Superb. Like everywhere we've gone, they've had cheap, tasty meals. I am now on my own basically, and looking around here, I see no one in front, no one behind, but I guess if I follow the trail, eventually I'll meet someone. Just hopefully not a snake or a dangerous monkey. Okay, not to worry, I see and hear people up ahead. False alarm, although I do hear something there in the bush. Jesus Christ, you never know what you're going to get here. Look at these guys, living their best life. Pretty much all alone here now, but I have to say it's really nice to be like that for a little bit here. Just listen to the sounds around. It's just so peaceful, so calm, and nice to get away from all the noise for a little bit. I like it here. Now we're after finding a Lupe. Some of these buffalo soldiers, dreadlock Rasta, fighting for a rival in the heart of the Thai jungle. Is this coffee here? So Lupe, what was she telling you about the whole coffee thing here?
So basically, while James was walking 10 miles ahead of me, I was there talking with the guide, and it seems like all this area before was used for growing opium, and since the 70s, King Rama IX imported coffee from South Africa, so now that's what they're growing on this area. I'd
love a cup of coffee now, to be honest. Probably talking a little bit too loud here. There's a list of rules behind me. Basically, you have to keep quiet, do not pick every plant, beware. But we are hitting point number 1, we're with the local guide, so we should be good. Definitely the worst part about going downhills is knowing that you have to go back up. Ah, Lupe, why did the chicken cross the road? Because we were right behind them. So we're after kind of finding this little village here down. You have to walk down a path here behind me. Yeah, it looks like kind of a big enough village, I have to say. Probably maybe a few hundred people in here, but I think we're going to be getting some coffee fairly soon, so I'm looking forward to that.
For memory, the yellow one, that's a mixed flower tea.
So this is going to be really nice. They're going to give us a free coffee here and different coloured tea made from different leaves. So here we go. And Arabica coffee. Let's see. Oh, that's good. Not bad, I have to say, yeah. Quite tasty. You want to try?
Yeah.
See what you think of the Arabica coffee here.
Well, I don't like coffee for a start.
Yeah, well that's a difficult starting point, but let's see how it goes.
I suppose it's good.
Exactly. They do many teas here as well. I think they're made from the coffee pods. They're really flavoursome and really tasty. So recommended to come here and try the coffee and the tea. Can't get enough of it. So the guy in the coffee shop explained it to us that basically the people here are called the Karen people, and they used to rely on opium. They grow opium and they're here for the last 150 years. So the king brought in coffee from South Africa, tried to kind of dilute the issue of opium. So that's the story.
What do you mean?
Look at all that.
Man, how do you say it?
So we're here now, heading up to the highest point in Thailand, and it's quite cold, surprisingly. Obviously the higher you go up, the colder it gets. Wow, here we are. It's cool to be up at the highest point in Thailand, but if that's it, it's a little bit disappointing. The last king of Chiang Mai, his ashes were buried up here at the highest point, so it's almost like a shrine. The Air Force in 1975 built a sort of a commemoration area for him. That's why it's up here. What a cooler place to have your commemoration. It is beautiful here, I have to say, but there's kind of a mist around that adds atmosphere, maybe that's the wrong word, but you can probably see behind me there it's 16 degrees. It feels like a long time since it's been 16 degrees. I actually need a jumper. Yes, our tour guide here does not like toilets, because anytime some people in the group see it, they need to go and it delays her, so we're having a bit of a joke about that. But there's plenty of shops here as well. You can get coffee and food when you're coming up here, so that's nice, and obviously toilets if you need to go, so at least that makes it a bit easier and makes it a bit more comfortable when you're traveling around. So far at the highest point in Thailand, the views are non-existent. We can't see anything, and even when we were a little bit higher up it was all foggy, so I don't know, maybe it will change as we keep going, but it's not the best.
Just for special, that they come in up here.
Okay, so we are going to the Pagodas now, so yes, King and Queen of Thailand. We're now currently in a little waiting area like this, and we're going to be taken up by like a smaller tuk-tuk. That's where we are for now. Just chilling out by the van. Very important to get your energy in. These banana flakes are unreal. Ooh, okay, great. So we're off the little tuk-tuk now. Either side of us here, they're probably, to be honest, maybe 150 meters apart of each other, both elevated up on a little bit higher, so obviously they're visible wherever you are down below. Very beautiful here, lots of coloured flowers. Gardens are obviously maintained, and also noted that if you're coming here you have to cover your knees and shoulders and all that, same as other pagodas and temples throughout the region. These are both twin pagodas. One represents the Queen and one represents the King. They were built in 1975 by the Royal Thai Army, I believe it was, and they're still standing tall today. Sorry, I'm just mad out of breath from coming up those steps again, but it's quite cool here. Yeah, okay, in fairness, like, it's very impressive here. The pink or purple colour here on this one is the Queen's, and it's rather cool. The structure itself goes up fairly high, I would guess probably 20-30 meters maybe. And the design and architecture it's impressive. Maybe not the most impressive I've seen in Thailand or in Southeast Asia, but it's definitely cool, and I'd say, yeah, worth a visit. So it's just what I thought would be the case. We thought we were going to have that famous picture in Chiang Mai with the twin pagodas, but this is what we're basically given today. Plenty and plenty of clouds, so a little bit disappointing with the view, but this is what you get. Like, what can you do about it? But the gardens here itself, the pagodas, are 100% really cool. So inside the pink pagoda, it's amazing. The roof, you can see the colour, the detail, it's quite astonishing, and I'm assuming it's going to be like that in the other one as well. So really cool to get up here, even though the views outside aren't the best. when we arrived here we were told we get 45 minutes and already half an hour has gone past and we've only done one of the pagodas. Probably a little bit short of time. That's one thing we don't like about the tour, but a lot of people have come here on their bikes, so depending on what you want, if you want more independence like I said earlier, maybe the tour isn't the option for you, but yeah, we're just feeling a little bit rushed. I'm after getting some what I think are decent enough photos, so I might throw them up here for you. Now we're going to head up to the King's Pagoda. I'm sure it's going to be similar in ways, but maybe it's very different in other ways. And because we're a little bit pressured on the time, we're going to take the escalator. This one looks quite similar. Lots of nice gardens, lots of nice colour around, flowers, and lots of sculptures as well. Some good news for us, basically the sky is starting to clear up a bit, which gives us a little bit of a better view like that. Now, not the best in the world, but it definitely was a little bit better than what we had earlier. But I can imagine on a clear day here, you'll have the most amazing views. Happy that we got to come, but the only thing that let us down a bit was the weather. Cleared up a bit at the end, yes. You know, on a nicer day you could be lucky and have the most amazing view at one of the highest points in Thailand, so well recommended. Last stop of the day here is a fruit market. There's a row of about, I'd say 100 meters of just fruits, vegetables, all sorts. So if you're hungry after a long day, you can definitely come back here and get something to eat. So obviously you have plenty of fresh bananas, courgettes, cucumber, then the packeted nuts, jellies, and other kind of assortments here. So what do you got? You have, of course, you have your tea, more nuts. Hello. So yeah, you can see the whole way along here, like you're not going to be short of options. They look very tasty. Lupe, what do you want to get? Some of those jellies look good. Wow, they are some of the biggest avocados I've ever seen. The biggest I've seen since Kenya. Look at these, 40 baht each, so that's about €1 I think, somewhere around that. So a lot of the women are actually offering out free tries of the food, but I'm sure they're really good at, once you try a little bit, they're going to try and influence you to buy something in full, which is fine, that's what they want to do. This market is really nice. We have about 20 minutes here, so I think it's the perfect way to end our day of exploration. So what do you got? Can we get one? It's 40 baht. Kap kun kap. Are you happy with your purchase? What is it?
Dried mango.
Dried mango, sounds good. Kap kun kap.
Kunka.
I'm going to try this dried mango now. Lupe isn't really a fan of it, but I'm going to give it a go. It's actually a little bit soft, to be honest.
Hello.
Very sweet. Bit of like a sugary coating on it. Not bad. I'd eat it. Ooh, so that's it. A very tiring day, but we're back at the hotel now and it was great, I have to say. Really enjoyed most of the day. The trek, pagodas, we're a little bit disappointed at the highest point in Thailand, you know. A little bit hard to see, lots of forest around, and could say that it was a little bit of an anticlimax, but nonetheless it was included in the tour and we enjoyed the tour and we feel like there was good value in it. So there may be some positives to go outside of the tour, but we felt that because everything was included, it was easy. They picked us up, they brought us back, you know, so no stressing really. Some things to consider. As usual, if you can, please subscribe to the channel. That would be great. It would do good things for our channel and push it out to other people who may be interested in these types of videos. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Have you done this tour before? Would you like to do it in the future? That'd be great as well. Thanks very much for watching and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.